Hello and welcome to episode 32 of the What Shara Made podcast. Welcome back if you're a returning viewer, and big hello if you're a brand new viewer today. I've got a couple of FOs and a couple of whips and some future cast-ons and a call for test knitters and some spinning and some acquisitions. So I've got quite a few things. I might as well just get straight on into my whips. Now this is sort of a half object, because I've got one done. Little summer shorty sock, and I'll give you a closer look at that yarn because it's pretty groovy. This is the Lana Grossa Melon Weight. You know I said that wrong. And this yarn I bought earlier in the year because it's 45% wool, 35% cotton, 13% polyamide and 7% elite, which I presume is some sort of elastic. And I got it because I wanted some socks for warmer weather. And I think these are going to be perfect. Really like the way those stripes have come out. It's really cool. As you can see, it's just a little vanilla sock, nothing special about it. Just 1x1 rib for I think about 13 rounds for the cuff, and then standard heel flap and gusset, cuff down. And then just a standard toe as well. I really like these a lot. When I first started using the yarn, I was a bit skeptical because it was actually a little bit tricky to cast on because it's very, very stretchy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to give you a demonstration of this, but it's super, you can see that it's super elastic, so it was actually a little bit tricky to cast on. As you can see, the top's a bit sort of wibbly wobbly, wavy, but I've tried this sock on and it's not uncomfortable, and it looks quite nice once the ankle's stretched out around my actual ankle. So I'm not going to redo it. And I've started the second one. Obviously I'm not very far into it, just about to start the heel flap. And I haven't tried to match the stripes. I actually quite like random striped socks that don't match. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that, and I think I might give that, once I finish these, I'll wear them a little bit and see how I like them as a finished piece, and if they're any good, I might get a few more balls of this because I think they'll be perfect for warm weather socks. So that's my first whip. My next whip, well, it's my Strata shawl for the Strata Shawl Knit Along, and I'm so excited about the amazing response to this knit along. I've held knit alongs before and it was like me and one other person, so this was quite good. Lots of people are involved, there's lots of interaction in the Ravelry group. You can find a link to that Ravelry group in the down bar below this video, and it's been fantastic, and I'm loving watching everyone's Strata shawls grow and seeing where they're getting up to each day. And they're posting on Instagram and in the Ravelry group. It's amazing. People have chosen the most delicious yarns. Oh gosh, they're just beautiful. So I am knitting along too, and I'm about to start the second vertical, well, the first vertical stripe section. So that's all I've got so far. It's not very big. And this one here I'm making using, it's beautiful. It's actually is looking sort of almost lilac on the screen, but it's not really. It's like an ultra pale blue-grey. The colour is called Iceberg, and it's a Cleckheaton Superfine Merino, and it's beautiful. And the yarn for this particular one, Strata Shawl, was actually donated to me as yarn support from my local yarn store, which is beautiful. and that's Crumbs Craft in Healesville. So they've generously donated this yarn to me for the knit along, which I'm very thankful for. So that was really generous of them. They're always a great supporter of my pattern writing and the podcast, me in general. So that's beautiful. I was so thankful for that. So thank you, Crumbs Craft in Healesville. And that is it for active whips. I'm not joking. Of course I've got other whips, but they're languishing, unloved in my stash. So they're the only two that I'm presently working on. I did have another whip last night that I was actively working on, and it was a whip about 3 times, and it's been frogged 3 times as well, and that is the Sway Shawl by Addie Day Designs on Ravelry, and it's nothing to do with the pattern, just my yarn choice. I originally had an idea of exactly what I want, which yarns I wanted to use for this pattern. It's a beautiful long shallow shawl, crocheted, and it uses 3 different colours, and I desperately wanted to use stash because, you know, I need to. And I got given this amazing cotton. Let me tell you about it. It is, let me show you the label. It's called OWL, but the OWL stands for over, under, repeat. And this beautiful yarn, oh, it's actually silk, it's not cotton, pardon me. It's silk, which is just gorgeous. And it's hand dyed in Nashville, Tennessee, which is beautiful. And it's called a 2-ply sports weight, but it's really working up like a fingering weight. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh my god. And obviously my colour. Oh my god, I love it so much. Oh, so beautiful. And this was given to me by the lovely, lovely Jacqueline from the Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast. And she's a sweetheart and one of my favourite podcasts. She's actually done a little mini podcast or vlog out and about in New York City with Eric from the Sticks Plus Twine podcast. He visited New York and they caught up over this past weekend, and Jacqueline put up a gorgeous little video. It's really cool. It only goes for about 4 minutes, but it's a really lovely little snapshot into yarn stores in New York City, and one day I'll get there. So this was a beautiful present from the lovely Jacqueline. It was in a beautiful skein, and then I wound it up to make my Sway shawl, and then I frogged it, and then I wound it up, and then I frogged it, and then I wound it up, and then I frogged it, and that's why it looks like this. I knew I was definitely going to use that yarn, and then I was trying to find 2 other yarns to go with it. I found one on the weekend, this here, which is actually a hand spun cotton, and it's from the lovely Caroline Burke. There's her information there. This is so lovely. And that's this. Isn't it gorgeous? It's really beautiful. It's really, it's sort of rustic, but it's also brilliant spinning. And it's roughly the same weight as this. They're matching quite well when I've worked them together. And then it was the 3rd colour that was causing me all the issues. I've now tried 3 different colours and none of them worked. And it wasn't the actual colours that weren't working, it was the particular yarns. One was too thin, one was too heavy, one was too stiff. And then I remembered I had several balls of this in my stash, which is the 4-ply Avalon from Morris & Sons, and it's pure cotton as well. And it actually matches just beautifully, and this is what I originally had in mind. So these 3 colours here are going to become a beautiful Sway shawl crochet shawl, which I think will be lovely to wear in summer and spring. Excuse me. Because I wanted a lightweight, natural fibre, cotton or silk scarf, shawl wrap to wear in the warmer months. Although I am beginning to think that maybe summer's never coming. Give my little weather report. It's actually beautiful right now, but that's the first time it's been like that for weeks. And a lot of Victoria, the state I live in, is presently flooded. And it just keeps raining, it won't stop. And all the water's flowing down from the state above us into our state, and it's making everything worse, and you know, it's not good. Everything here is very squishy and squelchy and swampy, and the river that runs through our town had a flood warning the other day, and it did burst the banks, but only at one point, and there's no residences, no houses there at that point, which is good. The weather today is actually forecast to be 25 degrees, which is about 77 Celsius, so 25 degrees, no it's not, we'd all die. 25 degrees Celsius, 77 Fahrenheit. But when I got up this morning, it was only 6 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 42 Fahrenheit. Not pleasant, but it's glorious outside now. It's not raining for once, and the sun is shining, the sky is blue. It's still pretty fresh out there though. I've got sandals on right now and my toes are freezing. So I'm hoping it will warm up. I won't be able to wear this out. I might be wearing a t-shirt. I'm about to head out after I finish filming today. And tomorrow is also forecast to be quite warm, but then it's going to rain, and then it's going to rain for at least the next 8 days and be freezing again. So we're getting like a tiny little taste of spring, and then nature is snatching it away again. So great. But I might move on to some FOs because I'm wearing one, as you can see. This is the jumper I was working on that I showed you in my whip section in the last episode, and this is the Vissa sweater by Anna Maltz, who is also known as Sweater Spotter, and she's presently in Australia. Hello Anna, if you're watching, and I was so happy to finish this jumper or sweater. Oh my god, I love it so much. Look at it. Love it. And the yarn I used was silk tweed from Magazine Duet, who's a Swedish yarn producer, and I really love it. It is so nice to wear. It is cozy, but it's not boiling hot. It's a silk wool blend, and I don't know if you can, let me see. It's actually a smidge longer than I would typically like my sweaters, but I don't mind. I still love it. You get a bit of an idea of the texture of the yarn. It's so nice. Oh god, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I've given this jumper a few outings. I wasn't sure whether to begin this jumper in the first place because it was October when probably maybe the last week of September, sorry. And I thought, you know, that's a bit late to be starting a woolen or partially woolen sweater in Australia. No, I've had plenty of wear, and I'm still going to get plenty of wear this year. So that's good. I'm glad I made it. It was really, really fun. If you watched the last episode, you would have heard me describing, in a bit of a convoluted way, how the sweater comes together. So I won't go through it again. If you want to hear about the construction elements, which are really quite genius, head on over to episode 31 and you'll catch that. So yeah, absolutely loving this. It is really beautiful. Now, I did make the size medium, which has still got plenty of positive E's, as you can see. Not as much positive E's as the pattern suggests, but this is the perfect size. Perfect size. When I first washed it and I was laying it out flat to dry, I thought, oh my god, it's huge! Oh my god! Like, my friend Anne and I will be able to wear it together at the same time. Like, both of us at the same time will fit in it. I was really worried that it was just going to be like a big sail and catch in the wind and I'd fly away. But once I put it on, I was like, oh, it's not that wide. It's quite a good fit. Oh. But yeah, totally love it. Cannot wait to start another one. And I think I might make a cotton one. With maybe a pale grey and a pale turquoise. That's my plan at the moment, but we'll see how that goes. And maybe with slightly shorter sleeves on the cotton one. I think that would be a really nice summer top. I'm going to look into that. I'll check it out and see how I go. So that is this FO. Love it. Oh my god, it's so cool. I feel really groovy when I wear it. Love it. My next FO, I was also working on last week and showed you in the last episode, and I finished them just in time to be able to wear them for the weekend, and so I have worn them. They've been washed, and I'll show you. So they do look a little bit worn because they have been worn. These are my Jelly Roll socks. I don't know if there's a little bit of shadow catching on there. I won't bring them too close to the screen because they're a bit ratty now that I've worn them. I'm a bit rough on my socks, I think, apparently. But yeah, absolutely love these. So cool. Both identical. Really love them. Super comfortable. Would happily make another pair again. Probably wouldn't do 2 colour corrugated rib in the middle because that absolutely killed me and took forever. So if I make another pair, I might just keep the rib in the middle the same colour as the body of the sock. Absolutely love them. I've also got quite a bit of wear out of these. But really enjoying ankle socks at the moment, hence the other pair of ankle socks that I made. They're just right for this transitional weather that seems to be lasting forever. And my next FO, I will tell you after I have a sip of tea, is something else that I showed you last week and probably the week before. My little fingerless mitts here. And I'm still deciding on a title, a name for these, because there's going to be a series. There's going to be the sweater, the mitts, the hat, socks, and possibly a shawl, all using this same stitch pattern that I'm absolutely mad about. I absolutely love it. It's really fun to do. It's a little bit popcorny and it creates such a gorgeous texture. It's really, really lovely. And these little darlings are made using the Zilana Cowrie Fingering Weight Possum Silk Merino blend yarn, and they're beautiful. And I believe this colourway is called Natural. That is sort of the colour of possums. And that's the Australian brushtail possum. It's not like an American opossum. They're quite different and they're very cute, but very destructive when they're in a non-native environment, which is very sad. Silly humans have put them in places where they don't belong and they're really destructive, but they do make a very nice yarn. Sorry, possums. Very nice, very nice. So I will actually be putting a call out for testers for these, and you need under 50 grams of a fingering weight yarn. I probably used maybe about 36 grams, so that would roughly be maybe 160 meters. So probably quite a good stash busting little thing. We've all got those little odd bits of fingering weight hanging around. If you're interested, I will put a little thread up in the Ravelry group, and you can head along there and sign up if you're interested. There will be a little bit of it. The deadline will be quite short, so if you do want to be a test knitter, you will need to commit to a pretty short time frame. But they don't take long to knit. You could probably make these in a day if you're really committed, but maybe 3 or 4 days if you didn't want to get crazy and you just wanted to do some evening knitting. These would be perfect. Oh, I don't know why this happens, but it literally happens every time I make something. Every time I make fingerless mitts, every single time, one is always longer than the other, and I literally have identical amount of rows in these. Look at that. Why? I don't know. Every time. Anyway, yours won't come out wonky, I hope, because you won't have the same uneven affliction as me, but you never know. So, yeah, that's those. I maybe do have a name for it, but it's such a cool name that I'm wondering if these are, worthy, but we'll see. The next thing I have been doing is quite a bit of spinning, and I've been desperate to do spinning for months now, and I just had other knitting commitments that I needed to get done, so I hadn't been doing a lot of spinning or any spinning actually, but after watching the My Muddlings podcast with Julianne, hello Julianne if you're watching, and seeing all her amazing spinning, I was so inspired, and I just chucked everything aside and got my wheel out and been having a play, especially after I went to the Black and Coloured Sheep Association Woolcraft Day in Cranbourne on this past weekend, and I picked up some beautiful fibres from some lovely local dyers and producers, so that was really exciting, and I literally couldn't wait until I got home and I got my wheel out. The split second I walked back in the door after that show, and I've spun this, and I might just move my chair, it's sort of creaking against the wall. This hair, I don't know if you can see that, it's not particularly, it's not 100% even. But I might just bring this out because it hasn't had a wash yet, so I only just took it off the bobbin, but you can see there the different colours. Now, the way this braid was dyed, if you're familiar with what roving looks like, it's usually a very big long rope of roving. The fibre is in a big long consecutive piece, and this had been dyed in such a way that that length of roving had been folded in half, and then they dyed like that, the colours like that, so pink, purple, blue. And so that meant that if I pulled the braid apart in the middle and spun each side individually, and then I could apply those two together, it should effectively create sort of a self-striping yarn, because the two colours meet up as I applied them together. I'm not explaining this well at all. If you're a spinner, you know what I'm talking about, but if you're not, it's probably not making any sense. Anyway, I spun 2 bobbins, one from each half of the braid, and then I applied those together, and for the first time ever, both my bobbins were literally the exact same length, like they both finished at the exact same time. I don't even know how that happened, but because it's certainly never happened to me before. One bobbin's always got more on it, except for this time, absolutely perfect. And it means very little barber polling because the colours matched up in each single really, really well. So I've actually sort of got a bit of a, well, it's probably a bit hard to tell from there, a bit of a self-striping yarn here. And I've got plans for this little baby to go with some of my other hand spun. And you can probably tell by looking at this on the screen that it's not very woolly. And that's because it is indeed a wool-free bunch of fibre. Let me tell you, because I can't remember everything, it's got baby alpaca, soy, kid mohair and sparkle. And the sparkle, I don't know if it's actually showing up in there, or very faintly, but it's got a nice little subtle sparkle to it. It's not like glaring like Stellina. It's just nice. It's really beautiful. And it is from the beautiful Cat and Sparrow Fibres, and they were there and at the Black and Coloured Sheep Association Woolcraft Day, and oh gosh, I love their fibre. I could have just bought one of everything, but I controlled myself and just got this one. And I wish I'd bought more now. They do have an online shop, so I'll probably contact them through that. So yeah, very happy with this, and it's really beautiful to feel like, oh, I can't wait to use it. It's going to look so beautiful when it's knit up. I'm really excited about it, really excited. So, oh, that's Rosie barking in the background. She's usually so quiet when I film, but oh, she's obviously seen something exciting outside. Rosie! Sorry. We're just going to have to work through it. Some more spinning. Now, I haven't plied these. I've just spun the singles and I'm going to ply them this afternoon, and I cannot wait to ply them. I'm so excited about this. Now, let me tell you about this first before I show you, because to be honest, on the bobbin it doesn't look that great. But I feel like it's going to look amazing when it's plied, and, well, fingers crossed. It is from My Spin On Things, and I got this at when I was in Bendigo earlier in the year for the Australian Sheep and Wool Show. They have a little sideshow which is called the Artisan Textile Fair, Artisan Textile something, at the North Bendigo Bowls Club, and it's always awesome every year. And My Spin On Things is always there, and she has the most amazing array of all sorts of things, and she's lovely. Hello Janet, if you're watching. And she had some amazing bats, which I believe are typically called art bats, but I could be wrong. And this one here is a combination of wool, silk, milk fibre, soy and Angelina. However, I think there was also some linen in this mix as well, which is listed on here but isn't marked. I'm pretty sure it had linen in it as well, unless milk fibre is really, really weird and looks like linen. But it really doesn't look like much. That is, yeah, but they are indeed from the same bat, and there was a lot of like sort of goldy colour silk, you can see that there. Some very dark green silk, which you can sort of see in there. A lot of this burgundy wool, and some light purple cotton. Well, actually it's not cotton, there's no cotton in it. I wonder what that was. I don't know, it felt like little cotton nubs when I was spinning it, and it was a really fun spin. I would not recommend it for a beginner spinner unless you want some super chunky art yarn, because it wasn't an easy spin, but it was really interesting and fun. And I cannot wait to apply these babies together and see what I get. And I think I want to make myself a loop scarf, so like an infinity scarf with it. I'm just going to knit until I run out. I think maybe a garter stitch chevron, so I think that will work well with the interesting textures and colour changes. And I'll just knit until I run out and then loop it around. Probably do a provisional cast on and then graft it and then wear it around my neck. I'm really excited about it. Cannot wait to apply it. I'm dying to see what it looks like. It was a slow spin as well. I was hoping to get the whole thing spun on one day, and so I could apply it yesterday, but it didn't quite happen. Never mind. Now, my acquisitions. Here comes Rosie. Yes, my dear? You're busy? Hey? Come here, gorgeous Baba. Oh, hello. You want to come up here? Yeah. Up you come. Oh, jump higher. Come on, you can make it. Come on. Up you come. Come on, girl. Oh, no, she doesn't want to come in and say hello. She tried, but she's only got little legs and she couldn't quite make it up. I know the feeling. Now, back to acquisitions. That little dog interlude. I hope that's not too irritating, being able to hear Rosie yapping in the background. Now this week I had a very special delivery from the gorgeous, gorgeous Peter from Dingo Dye Works, and she is such a doll and surprised me with a bonus skein, which I was not expecting. I ordered 2 of these and she popped in a third, and it is such a perfect match. I had different plans for the other 2, and now that these 3 are together, I think they all need to stay together in the one piece. But let me show you. Oh my god. Look at it. Oh my god. So this is Wallaroo, this is Flinders, and Rosemary. Oh, god, they're so gorgeous. And just put a little progress keeper on each skein. Beautiful. Thank you, Peter. This is amazing. I was having a really rubbish day, and then the parcel man came, and I got these in the mail. Everything was better. So beautiful. I cannot explain to you how deliciously soft this yarn is. I just want to, like, smells delicious too. Gosh, it's so beautiful, especially soft. Check it out. Oh my god, Peter, you're a genius. Love it. Oh my god. I just want like a million more skeins of this, and I just want to knit everything in it. So I have to think of something incredibly precious to knit these 3 into. Oh my god, it's so amazing. Love it, love it. Thank you so much, Peter. Now, if you've ever watched Peter's podcast, you'll know she does 2 versions. She does the full podcast, and then she has what's called a puppy podcast, where she talks about what's going to be in her next shop update for the Dingo Dye Works yarn. You can see her groovy label there. And she shows, on that puppy podcast, she puts different colours together that you might not always initially think of, but once you see them together, it's such a good, valuable tool. I don't know why more dyes don't do it, but it's so brilliant. And of course, every time I watch it, I want every single combination that she shows. So it is dangerous. If you're on a yarn diet, maybe don't watch it. But she shows which colours in her range go together and how different colours work together in different combinations, and it's such a valuable resource. I really enjoy it and I really appreciate that Peter takes the time to do that, and it's really worthwhile, and it really helps. You know, when you're ordering yarn online and you think, is that pink going to look okay with that green? Is it, I don't know, I really need to see them next to each other. And that's one of the joys of shopping in person in a yarn store, is that you can place the yarns next to each other. You can see how they play together, and it's not always easy to choose multiple colours that you're going to put together in the same piece when you're shopping online. But because Peter shows you all these different combinations, it makes a huge difference. So if you're not on a yarn diet, I highly recommend watching Peter's puppy podcast, as well as a full podcast, which is also really fascinating, and she's a really knowledgeable woman with her colour knowledge and everything else she does to do with her yarn. Actually, it's really fascinating. If you're obsessed with yarn, which you probably are if you're watching this, I strongly urge you to go over and watch Peter's Dingo Dye Works podcast, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes so you can find it. And I've just got one last thing now, I think. Done all my whips, done all my FOs, I've done my spinning acquisitions, and now I'm going to do something that I forgot to do in the last episode, and that is draw the winner for the October prize for the year-long stash busting craft along, which is going on in my Ravelry group, and you'll find a link to the group in the down bar. And everyone's welcome to join in. It's not hard to join in, because the only requirement is that if you've got an FO that's been made with yarn that you acquired prior to the beginning of 2016, you can enter it into that giveaway, and everyone who's entered in that giveaway all year long is always eligible for a prize each month. The prize of this month is, this is actually the September prize. I might have said the October prize, but I meant September. Is this sock box, and excuse the creases, it has been laying flat. Beautiful fabric, actually, really gorgeous fabric. Sorry about that, my camera just stopped working for some weird reason. Anyway, I was in the middle of talking about this, wasn't talking to it, not crazy. So this is the prize, and I'm about to draw it, and it's literally the last thing I had to do right before the camera had a little connection. So, in that thread, there are 312 posts in that thread at present, which is amazing, and it is seriously full of the most glorious stuff. So many clever people using up their stash. Congratulations. The first couple of posts in that thread are mine, and obviously ineligible. So I've got my random number generator here. Where is it? Oh, you totally cannot see that, but it says it says 4 to 3, 12. Anyway, so let's generate a number. 248. Ooh, I wonder who that's going to be. Let's check it out. 248. That'll probably be on the 11th page. Nope, the 10th page. Wonder who it'll be. 248, 248, who is it, who is it? Who's it gonna be? Hopefully it's a valid entry. 248, oh, this is so great, Vin Girl, congratulations. Oh my god, this shawl is gorgeous. It's really beautiful. Adding that to my queue. That's a Decibel shawl. Oh, I wonder if I'm going to be able to show this. That is beautiful. Love those colours. That is really gorgeous. So, Vin Girl, who's been a really active member of the group, so I'm really excited. Michelle from Indiana, you are getting this softbox. You probably also fit a shawl in it happily, actually. It's quite big. I could wear it as a hat if I felt like it. It's quite big, so you'll be able to fit a lot of goodies in there, and I will get that on its way to you. If you just want to send me a private message on Ravelry with your name and address, I will get it in the mail to you. So I think that covers everything. You've still got roughly one more week to enter the Advent Calendar giveaway, and you'll find all the details to that in the Ravelry group. And I urge you to enter because it's a pretty awesome prize. I would love to win the prize myself, but I can't enter. It's mine. So enter that if that's your thing, and I will see you all again in the next episode. Bye.